Hi, my name is Brittany Evans and I'm reporting back on my bottle thermometer experiment. I started with the question, what color thermometer best detects heat? I then tested the white and black bottle thermometers and I discovered that the black one became inflated more than the white one did. It was also warmer to the touch. From there, I came up with a question, what surface is coolest to read on in the afternoon summer heat? I oftentimes find myself going outside to read during the summertime, so I wanted to see which of the surfaces I usually go on is the coolest. For my design, I placed the black bottle thermometer on the following surfaces: the blacktop, the deck, and the grass. I then, after placing the thermometers, set up my timing system. And you can see I used my tablet because it records the time and I could just have it sitting there while I was walking around. My first set of findings, the blacktop took about 10 minutes for the balloon to inflate. The deck and the grass both took more than 37 minutes. It took more than 37 minutes, I say, because my video recording could record up to 37 minutes and it maxed out. And neither of the balloons were overly inflated. If I were to make this better, and I did then, I waited for the rain showers to dissipate because when I first started testing, of course, it started drizzling. So then during my second attempt, the black top heated up in about 1 minute, and this was with overcast conditions. The deck took about 37 minutes again. It wasn't, at 37 minutes, it wasn't fully inflated. It was slightly inflated, so that's why I said plus, because it probably could have used a few more minutes. And then the grass, again with the grass, it inflated in 25 minutes, but it was not nearly as inflated as the blacktop was. So based on this, I would choose the deck as the coolest location for me to read. If I were to do this experiment again, I would test it on a clearer day because I think it would make each of the locations really separate in terms of time, how much time it takes to inflate the balloon. I also was thinking that I could set my yoga mat down and see how that affects the time it takes the balloon to inflate at each of the locations, or even set down different materials like that on the deck to see if one material makes the balloon heat up faster than another, because oftentimes I do sit on my yoga mat or a towel when I'm reading. When looking at the STEM practices, the science and engineering practices aligned throughout the experiment. We started out with asking how we could use the thermometer. So we had a problem, we needed to use the thermometer. I asked a question. I went through each of the steps to plan and make the thermometer and then figure out how I was going to use that. Then for the analyze and interpret data and use mathematical and computational thinking, I set my findings out in a table. However, if I were to use this in my classroom, I think I would have them extend it even farther and graph it. First grade, we start focusing on graphing, so this would be a great outlet to start that with. For construct explanations, this could be an extension for the students to figure out, why does the blacktop heat up faster than the grass? What could make that happen? And have them do a little bit of research to figure that out. The last two in the science and engineering columns talk about the communication of the information. Clearly, we're doing screencasts. I would have my students share out their information, possibly to have the class graph all the information. The technology aspect, for learn how to use new technologies. I had never used a balloon thermometer before, so that was new to me, and I'm sure that will be new to my students as well. Another extension for my students would be to move from the balloon thermometer to a real thermometer. In first grade during our weather unit, they're instructed on how to read a thermometer. So this would be a good area to say, okay, well, why do people use thermometers? How do they use them? How is that helpful? In mathematics, I had to use the thermometer appropriately. I had to attend to precision, which is why I chose to use a video so I could see the exact time the balloon started to inflate. For my students, if I were to do this in the class, I could extend it by having them put the thermometer next to the bottle to see what the reading was for that, and then they could draw it out on a thermometer. As I had said, if I were to use this, I would use it during our weather unit before they would get to learn how to do the actual reading of the thermometer. The initial purpose could be to figure out where's the coolest location to read outside during the school day. Oftentimes, as a reward, I'll let them take a book out to read, or I'll take a book out to read so we can figure out what would be the best spot in warmer weather. A follow-up from that then could be that students could generate their own problems to answer using the thermometers, just like we were able to do. Thank you for listening.